Hello, I'm Hannah from Hannah Books and Beauty. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today I have two book reviews, and I realise that the books that I review on this channel aren't very commercial and YA, and they're normally quite classic or there's something a little bit edgy, so I do appreciate people clicking on my videos. I just thought I'd say that there. But my reviews that I'm going to do is Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar and Alice Walker's one of her poetry collections called Revolutionary Petunias. Now I'll start with Sylvia Plath. Sylvia Plath herself had mental health issues. She spent time in mental hospitals, and then after she'd had 2 children she committed suicide. So that's what we know about Sylvia Plath. This story is roughly based on her life, but it's not an exact portrayal. Names have been changed, the main person isn't called Sylvia. This is about a young girl who has mental health problems. That's what it says on the back, that's what people know The Bell Jar for. I don't think it's really about that, because the majority of this book, I'm talking up to that point, is all about she wins a competition with loads of other girls to go and work at a big fashion magazine. So she goes and works at that fashion magazine, and she's in New York, and it's really exciting, and she keeps on saying, I want to, find New York. And everything she does is a flashback to something else. So she's eating caviar at the New York lunch, and she remembers eating caviar when she was younger, and then she's wearing something and she remembers what she used to wear. Everything's a flashback. And I kind of felt like I knew everyone in her life, but I didn't really know the main character. That was what, for me, I found it was too many flashbacks. And then when things would happen in the present moment, she'd never give you her emotion on it. She'd just say, this happened, move on. And that kind of annoyed me within the book. So that's 70%. And then this tiny bit here is about this girl's time in a mental hospital. And I felt like this isn't really that much about mental health. So what happens is, after she's had this time at the magazine, which I found personally a bit boring because you didn't really find out anything about her, she then comes back home, she becomes very depressed, and she tries to attempt suicide. So she tries those different things, but some things she doesn't really try. She's about to do it and then she says, I'm not going to. So they're not all failed attempts, because sometimes she doesn't even attempt them. She then seriously tries to commit suicide, and that's why they put her in a mental hospital. And it's also, it was interesting when they talked about electric shock treatment, which they used to do, which is where they basically put electric currents through your brain, and they used to think that would help people who were mentally ill, help them click back to life and everything. And of course it didn't, and many people went brain dead from it and never came back. So if that's interesting, that bit in there is very interesting. That happens to her. Yeah, it was a difficult book for me. I didn't really enjoy it. I had to sort of push myself through it. If we were just basing it on the end bit about mental health, that was fantastic. That was really, really good. But the rest of the book I found quite boring. So yeah, it was an okay book for me. I don't get the hype about this book personally. Then moving on to Alice Walker's Revolutionary Petunias. Her poetry is perfect. I've already spoken about Alice Walker. You'll probably know her from The Colour Purple. My favourite book of hers is a collection of writing she did called Living by the Word. It's phenomenal. This is a poetry collection, and this is absolutely stunning. And I'm just going to read you a bit of one of the poems to show you how stunning this is. This is the poem Burial, and it says, a man goes to the grave of his dead wife, a woman that he used to call Woman, just call her by that, shortened over the decades to Woman. And on the cut stone of Woman's grave, he did not notice they had misspelt her name. That's a beautiful bit, that he just called her Woman and he didn't really respect her. And then on the next page, she writes a list of all the things that this woman did for him. It dawns on you, that's what I'd say is really good about her poetry, is it dawns on you. And it might take you a little bit of time to go back to it, or maybe even the next day you'll think, oh, that poem that I thought was quite it was nice, I realise that it's actually very deep. And that's what I think is very readable about her poetry, is that she's talking about very deep subjects in here, but she does it in a way that's readable. It doesn't feel like it's preachy, it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel like something you have to force yourself through. It feels just readable. Yeah, I absolutely adore the Revolutionary Petunias. I think that's no doubt. I love Alice Walker. I think she's phenomenal. She's just a fantastic author in everything she does. So that's my 2 reviews. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have an opposing view, then you can leave it down below and say why you like this book or why you don't like this. That's fine. If you've got any book recommendations, then please let me know, or any Sylvia Plath, because I know she did a lot of poetry. Any poetry that you think I'd like. and I will see you all very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye!